Hey guys, this is Mr. Belk. I'm back with one last video, and it's going to be great. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, my last video, I've enjoyed having you guys in class. Haven't enjoyed so much having school online. Wish we could have regular school, but it is what it is. You know, now at this point, we're basically done. We'll review and have a quiz on Thursday this week, and your quiz is it's not a final exam or anything like that. You guys are not going to be having a final exam. It's just the last quiz, and that'll be your last grade for this quarter. Okay. So let's talk about measures of spread, or sometimes people will call it variation. You can kind of call it either way. Really, what this is going to tell you about your data is it's going to tell you how far apart your data is, or your data are. I'm not sure which word to use, but it's just going to tell you how spread out your data is. And the first one you have heard about before is the range, okay, and we can talk about that. We're also going to talk about the interquartile range, which you may have heard before, and the same with standard deviation. You may have heard that before, but it might have been a long time because we didn't talk about it in Algebra 2 last year, and if you were in my class, we didn't really talk about it. So let's talk about the range really quickly. So the range is just the difference between the largest and the smallest number in your data set. So for example here, you want to look for your biggest number. Here, my biggest number is 11, or sorry, not 11. That's the range. My biggest number is 12, and I want to subtract it from the smallest number, 1. So if you subtract those two things, you get a range of 11. Okay, so range is very straightforward. The interquartile range, and what I want to go over real quickly is what it is and then how you can find it on your calculator, because it's a little bit annoying to find by hand. But the interquartile range is the upper quartile minus lower quartile. Or sometimes people call this Q1 and Q, or oh, I've got that backwards. The upper one is actually Q3. So Q3 minus Q1. Okay. And what the quartiles are is it's separating your data into fourths. They're the numbers basically that separate your data into fourths. So think about cutting your data set in half. Let me draw on this with some red. So imagine we've got this simple set of data. It's just the numbers 1 through 10. And imagine we're going to cut this thing in half. So your median right there would be 5.5, right in between 5 and 6. And then what your quartiles would be, let me circle them. So your quartile is basically the median, your lower quartile is the median of the smaller half, which in this case would be 3. And the upper quartile is the median of the larger half. Okay, so here your interquartile range would be 8 minus 3. You always do, this is Q3 or your upper quartile, and this is Q1 or your lower quartile. And technically the median right there is the second quartile. This would divide our sets of data into 4 equal sets. That's why they're called quartiles, separate them into quarters. But if you subtract these two things, 8 and 3, that will tell you what your interquartile range is 5. Let me show you really quickly how you can find that using your calculator, and we're also going to use this for the standard deviation because that's very annoying to find by hand. So if you go to your calculator, you want to go to the Stat button, and under the Stat button, your first option is going to be Edit, and go ahead and go to Edit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to enter all of the numbers you have into L1. You should have this list on your screen, and we're just going to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So our data set was very, very simple, and it was in order. You actually don't need to put them in the proper order before you put them in your calculator. Your calculator will do all the rest of the math for you the right way. Then you want to go to the Stat button right there again, and it'll bring you to where you were, and we're going to go to Calculate. If you go to Calculate, a bunch of options here. We've used some of them before. What we're going to do is use the very first option. It's 1 var stats. You'll hit enter. And if you have an older calculator, it may go ahead and bring up your screen. Or if you have a calculator with this operating system, it may want you to go down. If it pulls up something like this, make sure it says L1, and then go down to calculate. Okay? And then it'll pull up this screen with a bunch of information, which is nice. And let's talk about some of the information really quick. So if we scroll down here to the bottom, it's got a few important numbers here. See, and what it's done is it's found Q1 and Q3 for us. So Q1 was 3, which we found that it was by hand. If the set of data was really large, you would not want to do this by hand. but it would be possible. And then Q3 was 8. So if you want to find the IQR using your calculator, you would just do those. You would do this, or sorry, the larger number down here, Q3 minus Q1, and you would get 5. So the IQR isn't a number on your calculator, but it does give you Q1 and Q3. It also tells you your median, which was 5.5, so you can find your median that way. It also tells you your max and your min, so your biggest and your smallest numbers. Again, if you have trouble doing that for whatever reason, if the set of data is really large, you can find the range using that. So I would just do 10 minus 1 here for this set, for our original range problem. That was a different set of data. But if you want to find the range for this one, you can do it easily by doing max minus min. And let me scroll up and show you one more thing. So here, up at the very top, another number that's important is x with the bar over it. I call it x bar. That's your mean. So that's your average. So in this case, the average is the same as the median. That doesn't always happen. That's just because our list of numbers is just the numbers 1 through 10. So that's a coincidence. But this x with the bar at the top is actually your mean. And you can use your calculator to find those things for you if you don't feel like doing it by hand. Okay, the last thing we're going to talk about real quickly is just the standard deviation. The standard deviation, what this is, it's kind of complicated to calculate and it's kind of complicated to understand what it is. But what it is it's the average distance each point is from your mean. So what this means, pun intended, is that the larger your standard deviation is, the more spread out that your data will be. So if your standard deviation is 2, 3, 4, I don't know, let's say 10, that means that your data is pretty spread out. I guess it also depends on the size of the numbers. But if your standard deviation is 10, that means the average distance between each point and the mean is 10. Okay, so your set of data goes pretty far away from the mean on either end. And then with that being a strange measure of variation, this is how you calculate it. You square root the sum of x is like one of the numbers you have, and the mean is the mean that you have. Okay, and n is the size of the set, and sigma. This is a little Greek letter sigma. This is lowercase sigma actually, and this is capital sigma in here with that you've seen before from the last chapter. But typically people use little sigma to represent the standard deviation. On your calculator, we'll be using capital SX though. And so I'm not going to show you how to do this by hand because I would rather you know how to do it on your calculator. So let me show you how you do that on your calculator. You want to go back to Stat and Edit. And you have those, if you have those numbers in your calculator from the last problem or from something else, just select the L1 list and clear it out. So you can just do clear and hit enter. And it'll clear out all the stuff that's in there. Now we're going to put this into our calculator. This set down here at the bottom. This is going to be our example. 1, 2, not 3. Whoa. 1, 2, 5, 9, 6, 12, 7, 10. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to Stat, we're going to go over to Calculate, and we're going to do one var stats, just like we did for the example above to find the Q1 and the Q3. And go down to Calculate, and we're going to look down here at this capital SX number, this 3.82, I'll round it off to. That's your standard deviation. Okay, so on the calculator it's capital SX, and it'll do all of the work for you. Okay, so I've got your problems for today attached as a document on LMS. Please let me know if you've got any questions about how to do this on your calculator or how to do any of the other problems.